Good morning, everybody. It's 10 o'clock. This is Fox 10 Talks and talk about heartbreak. In one Valley family, we are getting some new information coming in this morning. There was a man who was shot and killed by police. The wife of the man who died at the scene, this was out there about 75th Avenue and Lower Buckeye Road, is saying that a gunman riddled their home with bullets, but it was a shot from an officer that took his life. And now the family, well, the quote from the wife is, "You shot my husband." And the family wants answers, understandably. So this is Fox 10 Talks. We have 2 hours of conversation and information. In a minute over here, let me just point to it right over here. In a minute, we're going to get the old YouTube comment section going. And as soon as we do, it'll be a chance for you to join in and let us know. A lot of times a conversation goes this way or that way, or it's talking along with us regarding some of the big stories of the morning. Let's roll out our poll question this morning. Should police be required to notify ICE if they arrest somebody they think is in the country illegally? 82% are saying yes, all law enforcement should cooperate, all the various levels, right? You got state government, state police, you have local police, you've got the federal government. All levels should cooperate all the time. 18% say no. I'm concerned it could lead to racial profiling. And we've been seeing protests at the Arizona State Capitol because there's a law that they're debating right now. And a lot of protesters have shown up, and that's their concern right there. Then your third option is, look, it already happens a lot. We do have some laws on the books that make this happen. We don't need another law. We got 3 good options for you right there on the QR code. Now, let's get back to this other story that is really generating a lot of talk here in the Metro Phoenix area. Our Taylor Wirtz put a report together about this, the heartbreak this family's feeling. They want answers. What exactly went down? Here's some of the latest on what we have learned.
Respiro.
He doesn't understand how there's, they are trained people to do this, and they just missed.
Mariana Gonzalez says she was upstairs Monday night when she heard gunshots and her husband, Christian Diaz, telling everyone to get down.
Que le habían dado.
And then she was coming downstairs when she heard her other son that was downstairs screaming and saying that he was being shot.
The gunman continued to fire, bullets tearing through the home, shattering the back door.
At that time, there was so many gunshots that it was just so crazy.
Gonzalez says Diaz and another man tackled the gunman, taking his weapon just before police arrived.
She told the policeman the one on the floor is the one attacking us, and the one restraining him is my husband, so be careful.
Seconds later, her husband was shot.
But the force of the impact was so strong that her husband just was thrown all the way to the back sofa. He took a breath, and that was it. She told the policeman, "You made a mistake. You shot my husband."
Phoenix police have not said whether officer gunfire killed Diaz, only that an officer opened fire and a man was detained. Gonzalez says police apologized, but have not explained how her husband died. Now, the family waits for answers and says they want justice.
She knows nothing is going to bring him back.
Pero esto no le tiene que pasar a más personas.
But this shouldn't happen to anybody else.
Remembering a man they call a hero, a good neighbor, and a grandfather who protected his family until the end.
He was a hero, and he defended them until the very end.
Really just incredible to learn about. And I should point out that there is a GoFundMe that's already now been set up to help the family, and we do have a link to it at fox10phoenix.com. But the amount of violence there and the gunshots that went off, and you saw pumped into that vehicle and into windows, and, people inside the house yelling, screaming, get down, get down. and then the other angle, which is, was it a police gunshot that took the life of that grandfather in that home? A lot to learn. We're going to stay on it for you, but boy, you can sure understand the heartbreak in that family. That is for sure. Okay, so on to some other stories that we have for you this morning, and we do have an update on this raid at the Zip sports bars. Now, for those of you who watch us around the world, probably not familiar, these are really popular sports bars all across the Metro Phoenix area, more than a dozen of them. And Zips is saying they are cooperating fully after a federal raid of all of their various locations. The thing about it is that we have been seeing protest really kind of gather some steam over the last several days since the story first was out there. And so protesters returned yesterday expressing concern about what's going on with the immigration raids. Arizona Congresswoman Yasamin Ansari, who joined with the demonstrators, we were out there getting some of the images, both originally on Monday and then again on Tuesday. The Congresswoman says many of her constituents are on edge because of what's been happening in Minnesota. Here is some of what Congresswoman Yasamin Ansari has been saying.
How does it feel like just to have this many people with you right now? It's a large response.
This is unsurprising to me because our community has been in fear for the last year because of the terror that ICE has caused. In Arizona, people are afraid to go to school, they're afraid to go to work, they have wrongfully detained people. I have been to the detention centers where people are being abused and mistreated and denied medical care. So this is just the tip of the iceberg of the opposition to what Trump is doing.
Are you willing to have a government shutdown over funding?
Republicans are willing to have a government shutdown. They control the government. They need to recognize that ICE just murdered an American citizen, and they need to make changes before they can earn Democratic votes.
A lot of the voices are talking about trying to talk to the governor here, the mayor of Phoenix, to keep ICE out. What can they actually do? What are those conversations like?
You know, I think that our local leadership is working to keep people safe through Know Your Rights trainings. I think that I understand the demand, but the real demand is also on the Trump administration and on Republicans who control all branches of government. We need to take action so that more people don't get hurt.
Okay, so there is a chance for you to hear just a little bit more. Now, look, it is difficult. Hi, Syleste. It is difficult to hear when you got a guy with a megaphone, 8 feet away, as you were hearing there. But Steve was doing his best to try to get literally the interview in real time there with Congresswoman Ansari, who, by the way, has been a frequent, or not a frequent guest, but she has been a guest here on Fox 10 Talks. Now, it all leads up to this story that is unfolding today and over the last few days at the state capitol. Lawmakers late yesterday advanced a bill that would be mandatory for law enforcement to notify ICE or Customs and Border Protection, CBP, if they ever determine or believe that somebody that they've arrested is in the country illegally. The thing about it is that protesters have continued to show up at some of these hearings, and they interrupted one of the state senators, Janae Shamp, several times. This is all about this Senate Bill 1055 that passed out of committee, going to go to the full floor of the Senate now by a pretty close vote of 4-3. Yes, we already have some laws on the books that do make this happen on a fairly frequent basis. But the people who are putting this particular bill together saying it would tighten up the laws, it would require almost immediate notification if a member local police officer believes they are dealing with somebody that they've arrested that is in the country illegally. And so let's go to our poll question this morning, because it's a chance for you. It looks like those numbers have moved around just a little bit. And here are your options. Yes, all law enforcement should cooperate all of the time, 84% now. 16% say they do worry about racial profiling, which is the very reason the protesters were interrupting yesterday and have been at the state capitol. And then that third option is it does happen a lot already. We don't need another law. Let me try the YouTube poll question. Sure enough. Now, this is interesting, Celeste, because we have a one more option there, option number 3, but we are seeing a pretty sizable number of people voting, already over 1,000.
Yeah, not even an hour this poll has been out, 58 minutes. Should police have to notify ICE if they arrest someone they believe is in the U.S. illegally? No, it could easily lead to racial profiling. That's 30%. Yes, all law enforcement should cooperate 100% of the time. That's 63%. That's a pretty big number. Not if it takes up time trying to determine immigration status. That is 8%.
Okay. Now, if you know the format here, you already know that normally we check in with Dave. He's been tied up in so many meetings. We don't have him available right now, but possibly later in our 2-hour show, we'll hear from Big D.
Sometimes there's meetings about meetings, Ron. But I don't think this one is the case.
Are you sure, Celeste?
Actually, we really have no idea.
Right.
Maybe it's about how, how great all of you are in the chat box and integrating the chat a little bit more into the conversation. So let us know where you're at. Darren Lloyd is here, Ron, Lisa Dinsmore, Brandy the Bookworm, and Duke 48816.
All right. By the way, Darren is out there saying, this is from yesterday, where's Thomas at with the tour bus? Remember yesterday, they're like, TMZ has a tour bus. Where's the Ron and Celeste tour bus?
Right.
And Ty and Des and Anita, too.
Right. And you can drive, Ron, as long as I get to determine what tunes are playing on the
Good.
radio, the speakers.
What's on your playlist lately, Celeste?
I'm glad you asked, Ron, because as I pull up my Spotify, I found a new playlist at the gym. It's called Bangers Workout Mix.
Oh, I love a good workout.
And one of my new songs that I like, my kids were like, yeah, Mom, we've heard that song before. Okay. It's called Up by Forrest Frank and Connor Price.
Nice.
And there's another one called Do It Again by Zonti.
Nice.
And those are going to get you going. Much like this tune right here will get you going, Ron.
Hey, I just added today a new country song called It Won't Be Long by George Bird.
Wow.
New name. Here's our mystery cam. Give us your guesses. First of all, a great big thank you to April Williams.
Yeah.
April, one of our newer commentators and the friendliest chat online.
Yes. Good morning to you as well. She said, good morning to my two favorite people. And you guys are a group right now of our nearly 40 favorite people that are on this morning. And this is your mystery camera at this hour. So some of the guesses are on Pennsylvania, Tucson, Ohio from B. Miguel.
Okay.
And let's see, we've even got a Kentucky maybe from Brandy the Bookworm.
Oh, okay. Well, that river really does have me kind of thinking.
Oh, it's got like an island in the middle, right?
What is happening? Yeah. So now here's the thing, Celeste. What do you want to guess? Have you considered yet? What do you think? We got a lot of smart guessers.
We have a lot of really good guessers.
Yeah.
I almost want to go with like a DC.
Okay.
I don't know. What are you thinking, Ron?
Well, okay. So you are going to go DC?
I'm going to go with Weigold, Missouri, because of the river.
Okay.
The river runs through it. Did you ever read that book, Ron?
No, I saw the movie.
Oh, yeah. Was it a book?
But wasn't that the movie where Brad Pitt made one of his early debuts with Robert Redford? Is that a river runs through it?
I think so. I'm going to look
where I saw that movie theater? Yeah. Is that right, Bri? Yeah.
It is.
I saw that at the old Cine Capri at 24th Street in Camelback.
Oh, yeah.
Like 30 years ago. Loved that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cine
Okay.
Capri.
So
that was at 24th Street in Camelback at the Esplanade.
Yeah. Were you ever able to go?
No. I was.
Movies there?
I was at the Dollar Theaters, the Polack Tempe Cinemas.
Oh, okay.
And he still has movies for like $2.
I know,
It's
good
awesome.
For him.
He's such a great guy.
But yeah, Cine Capri. Now it's a high-rise condo building or something.
And
like
they have
that.
movies there still. I think it's AMC Esplanade.
It was a single theater that was almost in the round. It was circular.
Yeah.
And it was so large that when they pulled the curtain back, they had the motorized curtain.
Yeah.
I swear it took like a minute and a half.
Wow.
Just to get the curtain pulled.
Well, now we've got 17-minute commercials, so.
All right. So you are going Missouri. I'm going to go Mississippi.
Okay.
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Because when I was in Minneapolis last year, they have a stone bridge that looks like this one that crosses the Mississippi River. However, this doesn't really look like downtown Minneapolis to me. So I am a little bit concerned about my guess, but I'm going to stick with it. It's possible. It's just sort of the angle that they came up with. So
Yes.
you've got a Missouri. I've got a Minnesota.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the answer now.
Okay, let's go
on
to
the
it.
mystery cam.
Brian, thank you for adjusting that camera setting, my friend. This is Harrisburg, PA.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, let's
We
go
both
back
got
to it.
wrong.
This is wild.
Okay, now, by the way, Troy says, I love a good Ron story.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Troy. By the way, the whole story there is that bridge in Minnesota, which we're not showing you, but it was originally built for the railroad. And the local mills that were built right along the riverfront were like really opposed because they're like, those trains are going to rumble right past our mills.
Yeah.
So many cereal companies are headquartered up there. Up in the Twin Cities. But anyway.
And River runs through it, Ron. Brandy the Bookworm said, Celeste, yes, it's a book and it's a pretty good one. By the way, if you have any good book recommendations, let us know in the chat. Because that's kind of, because Ron, how are you doing on your book reading?
Really good. And also Mr. Paul Valine says, I was just watching a 1994 VHS video that I was recording and my grandma was giving my great-grandpa that very movie. How about that?
That is so awesome.
River runs through it. There you go. I don't know. You might have to find it on VHS. If you find it on Prime, why does Prime work this way, Celeste? Let me get off my let me get on my soapbox.
Okay.
Why do you have to pay for Prime Video every year? It's part of the Prime package.
Right.
And then every time you want to watch something, you got to pay more. Look,
they charge you more money.
Either you pay a subscription price or you pay on a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Let's not do them both.
And all the youngsters are like, what is pay-per-view?
Yeah,
I remember we had to pay, like, it was to watch a fight or to watch. And by the way, did anyone watch? Ron and I were chatting about this offline yesterday. The Free Solo climber who climbed. Oh, see, Big D just wasn't that so good?
Here's
So
what we like to
incredible.
call
Oh my gosh,
an
we spent.
instant review.
Oh my! So Big D, were you glued to the screen? Gary and I were watching at
Yeah.
home. That was our Saturday. That was a Saturday night, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's an incredible movie and a great testament to what the human body can do. And that guy just did it on Netflix, climbed a skyscraper. It was incredible.
Yeah.
Climb
Was it
Taipei 101.
Taipei 101?
the
Yeah.
big high rise.
Well, and I was actually so surprised too. And if you all watched it, it was pretty incredible. It was like live on Netflix. There are people inside the building taking snapshots of him too. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, is that making him nervous? And then the wind was blowing. They talked about having earthquakes in the city of Taipei like earlier in the week. It was so nuts.
Yeah, you didn't want an earthquake shaking that building when he's
No
like 82
way.
stories up.
Oh man.
Right? And I
Yeah.
mean, he was free climbing.
Yeah.
I believe,
Free
right?
climbing, no harness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Incredible.
Thankfully, he pulled it off.
Check it out.
By the way, let me just show you this video right here. This is super cool. We're getting so many great video. Look, this is from the Louisville Police Department. And I don't know if you ever could get to the Olympics and be like a luge on a luge team or something like that. Well, let's watch this guy. Look at this. I mean, that's fast enough for the average human being, Celeste. Look at him go.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Oh, there's been an possible
He needed to
injury.
wear a helmet at that point.
Would he be work related? Would he be able to file like an OSHA
Workman's
claim?
comp.
Yeah, there you workman's comp out for weeks. Okay, so anyway, I think that's the perfect introduction to our next guest. We are really excited about this. We're excited about the officer who got a chance to go tubing. But we're excited about Ashley Farquharson, who is going to be joining us live right now as we get ready for the Olympics. Ashley, where are you right now?
I'm calling in from Winterberg, Germany.
Wow.
Okay.
Look at that.
Good. More snow over there, too.
I know. So, Ashley, what has, I know there's lots of excitement surrounding you competing. What has the training been like for you? I mean, and how young were you when you started kind of having your sights set on this dream?
I started sliding when I was 11. It was an after-school program where I grew up in Park City, Utah. And I loved it so much, I just kept going and I kept racing and competing. And as I got older, when I got into my later teenage years, I was actually kind of good. And I was like, I could totally take this all the way. I made my first national team when I was 20, and I'm here now, my second Olympics.
Oh my gosh! All right. So, what would you say are people's biggest misconceptions? We might watch it every 4 years in the Olympics. What are the biggest misconceptions people have about luging and our luge team?
I feel like the most common one we get is that it looks like we're not doing anything. And that's actually a good thing, because when we're on the sled, we need our movements and our steers to be so minute and subtle to get the most speed out of it. So the more relaxed and, chill you can be on the sled, the faster you'll go.
There is a lot of mental work that goes into it as well, right? How do you prepare mentally to compete at this level?
We train the mental side of things right along in the gym with strength training. We do a lot of visualization exercises. And then we've been working as a team and personally to create really bulletproof mindsets. So that way, when we do get to the games and we're on the starting line, we can very quickly deal with any feelings of anxiety or nervousness or whatever else can be a stressor on that day. So it's just part of our training right along with everything else.
I love the ski jumping team that they have there up above Park City. I went and watched them a few months ago. I think it was back in September. They're incredible. And it's a great way to train.
Cool.
Yeah, for ski jumping. How do you train? Do you still live in Park City? Are you able to train there, or how does that all work?
So in the winter, we kind of travel around everywhere. We compete on the World Cup circuit where there's a race every weekend. We start training in early October on whichever track will have ice first. It's usually the one in Norway. In the summer, we have a facility in Lake Placid, New York that has a start facility built into it. So it's just a smaller version of our ramp, and it's ice all summer. We can practice the start through the hotter months. And yeah, that's been a big game changer for us.
So we have family in Park City. My husband's uncle has lived there since before 2000. Before that, Olympics was there in Park City, and I know we've gone there many times to ski with our kids there at Park City Mountain, and we hear all the time about winter school and how there's so many Olympians who were born and bred there out of Park City, Utah. It's so amazing. What was your response? The response from your parents, or obviously it's like the city where Olympians are bred, but what did you say to mom and dad? You said, hey, I want to do this when I grow up, or I really want to, compete at this level.
Well, when I started racing internationally when I was 16, it was always kind of going to be an option. I just had to be the best at it. So I wasn't really sure if I wanted to go to college or pursue this full time. And my mom was like, college will always be there. You can do this if you want. And I was like, all right, let's get it. Luckily for them and me, Team USA, Guild, and the Purdue Global have all teamed up. So I am actually getting my business degree now.
Oh, good for you.
So here with about a minute left here, who, as we tune into the Olympics here and watch you guys go, who are the 2 or 3 other countries we should also be keeping an eye on there at Cortina?
For luge, I would say Germany and Austria are our biggest competitors right now.
Austria, Ron.
Oh, okay.
You got to watch out. You got to watch out for them.
Not the Swiss. I was just in Switzerland. They're too neutral. They're like on everybody's side, I guess. Huh?
There's only one Swiss athlete.
Oh, wow. Ron, what are you doing? Would you want to go to Cortina and you want to compete with the Swiss?
I will go to Cortina any day, winter or summer. I haven't been there in about 5 years. But
and we can root.
Beautiful.
We will root you on, Ashley. We're much success in the future with your business degree and everything. Congratulations.
Cool.
Thank you so much for having me.
Bye.
Okay,
Thank you.
That, by the way, is the second person from Park City we've spoken to today.
Who else did we speak?
Ty's the
Oh,
other
that's
one.
right.
So
I'm like, who else? I was trying to think if there was somebody we interviewed.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool if you're from there and the kids are like want to do. They have like speed racing programs for kids.
It's the Olympic hotspot, for winter sports.
For winter sports, and if you have a kid, and you know how people have summer school.
Yep.
They got winter school there, so you take a break during winter for a lot of those young athletes. We had looked at moving there, like 10 years ago.
Could you imagine if she was doing Good Morning Park City instead of Good Morning FTT family?
It's a pretty cool spot. Beautiful town. All right, beautiful town here too. Our mystery camera.
Yeah,
we'll be right back.
10:30, Ron and Syleste and Trenton Hooker is going to be joining us as well. I'll open your microphone now. Trenton, I know you recognize Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, yeah. Good morning, guys.
And my mouth just automatically starts watering. I want to get on a plane and get over there and get some Buddy's Pizza. And Jets. I love Detroit-style pizza. You can see it's still cold enough.
Oh my
Not only is there snow on the ground and on the buildings, but you can see the steam coming off that one building. And, way to go, Detroit. They're rebuilding their entire downtown. It looks like a pretty cool place to hang out.
Is that a stadium off in the distance?
Yep, where the Tigers play.
Yep. Yeah.
Syleste, I have a story about that.
Okay, go for it.
So we were taking the kids on a trip around Niagara Falls, up into Canada, and we looped back down through Detroit, and old Tiger Stadium was about to be torn down. And I remember watching David Letterman one night at about that same time, and he's like, I wish they would figure out a way to restore the old stadiums instead of just knocking them down, kind of like Fenway Park.
Absolutely, they should do that.
They've taken it, they've kept it the way it is, versus most other ballparks. So we drove right up to the stadium. I mean, it's just right on the street. I parked right in front of the stadium. I went in, and there was a big, tough-looking security guard ready. I'm like, would you mind if I just brought my kids in so they could say they saw the original Tiger Stadium? He looked at me for a few seconds, assessed. Said, go ahead, bring him on in.
He knew who Ron Hoon was.
Yeah, at that time, the Hooner was not well known on Fox 10 Talks. I had a little bit of a local phenom going on, but it only went from like Mesa to Surprise.
Not Motown yet.
So in Detroit, no connection to Motown.
Yeah, I mean,
whatsoever.
now Queen Creek is now built now, and so is Santan. So, Ron, you're broadening your horizon.
Hey, let's roll what has been happening in Washington. Big doings today on Capitol Hill. I don't really want to call this a hot seat because the questioning has not been that, say, harsh, but senators, both on the right and the left, they want answers as to what is the game plan in Venezuela. And here is just a little bit more about what was actually being said about that.
Let me just say this. What is our goal going in? We had in our hemisphere a regime operated by an indicted narco-trafficker that became a base of operation for virtually every competitor, adversary, and enemy in the world. It was, for Iran, their primary spot of operation in the Western Hemisphere was Venezuela. For Russia, their primary base of operation in the Western Hemisphere, along Cuba and Nicaragua, was Venezuela. In the case of China, China was receiving oil at a huge, about $20 a barrel discount. And they weren't even paying money for it. It was being used to pay down debt that they were owed. This is the oil of the people of Venezuela, and it was being given to the Chinese as barter at a $20 discount per barrel in some cases. And so you had basically three of our primary opponents in the world operating from our hemisphere from that spot. It was also a place where you had a narco-trafficking regime that openly cooperated with the FARC and the ELN and other drug trafficking organizations using their national territory. It was an enormous strategic risk for the United States, not halfway around the world, not in another continent, but in the hemisphere in which we all live. And it was having dramatic impacts on us, but also on Colombia and on the Caribbean basin and all sorts of other places.
All right. I will just point out, never once did he read from a script.
Yeah.
I mean, he is up to speed, and they're going to be questioning him all day long. We're going to keep an eye on it, that's for sure. Questions about, Iran. The president just sent out a post saying there is an armada headed to Iran.
Yeah.
They better cut a deal. There are questions about Cuba and whether that communist regime will even remain in place over the course of this next year. So,
interesting, too, what he mentioned, like the barter program. You don't usually think of countries bartering with one another like that. Like, let's say Venezuela has, there's an IOU and, we gave you this oil. Now you can, pay us back in this way. It really is wild.
And you see them, U.S. forces boarding some of these tankers, these illicit tankers that are not supposed to be out there, kind of running their oil to locations around the world. And so everything has changed, but it's going to be fascinating to see how it all plays out. Now, Trenton Hooker, everybody. I feel like we should have a studio audience.
Do we have the applause button, please?
Yeah. Trenton, tell us about, for folks who are watching right now, maybe they catch us every day on FTT, but they don't know about Unknown.
Yeah.
Which kind of sounds like who's on first, what's on second.
Yeah. It's unknown
yes.
to them.
That's highly appropriate because Brian Webb and I are the Abbott and Costello of Fox.
Okay, good.
So.
What should they know about unknown?
Well, you're going to see stuff that you're not going to see on normal newscasts. So these are unconventional topics that you might have found that are a little bit in the weirder section of the news, but we certainly approach it with a journalism focus.
So do they begin as like conspiracy theories type thing?
Well, we have talked about conspiracy theories, but we really try to find, okay, what's the full picture here? You know, obviously what the people who believe in those things, what are they saying? But what is the context? What's the facts? We're going to try to get it out there and really present it to people so they can have a full picture.
So tell us about this episode that you got. Is it just dropped?
So it's dropping actually today.
Okay.
And then we're on YouTube tomorrow.
Okay.
So this
that's
one,
on Fox Local.
Fox Local today.
YouTube tomorrow.
Correct.
Okay, tell us about it.
So this photograph is one of the most notorious photos of the Holocaust. We have some video of it we can play. It's called The Last Jew of Vinnytsia. Very appropriate since yesterday was Holocaust Remembrance Day.
Right.
So as you're seeing here, this is moments before this man was executed by an SS officer, but this happened in 1941 in Ukraine. And the idea before was that this was in Vinnytsia, but a German researcher by the name of Jürgen Matthäus, he's actually just retired as the lead researcher, U.S. National Holocaust Museum in D.C. He found a war diary with that photograph in it and showed a different town. He presented his research, put it out there, and one of the SS officers' family members said, I think this might be my wife's family member. That we don't know, because the killer and also the victim still lost a history up until this point of who are they. So he got some photographs from this gentleman, was putting it out there, used a online sleuthing platform, journalism platform called Bellingcat, and they were able to use the photographs with AI to make a positive identification for that man named Jacobus Onen. So he was an SS officer that was highly indoctrinated, was part of these Einsatzgruppen death squads of the SS, where in 1941, when Hitler invaded the Soviet Union, these SS death squads would go in and slaughter hundreds of thousands, millions of Jews. At that point, they called this the Holocaust by bullets. And Onen, they believe, is the man seen in that photograph with a 99% certainty.
Wow.
Let's do this. Can we roll the first clip? Set up this first clip for us.
Yeah.
And based on the photographs that my contact had collected, it was possible to have comparable images that allowed for the identification of the shooter. And we now know that this is a man by the name of Jacobus Onen, born in a small village in eastern Frisia in northwestern Germany, close to the Dutch border. The man did not survive the war. He was killed in anti-partisan warfare in August 1943, which is one of the reasons why he never became known to investigators.
Wow. Okay, Trenton. Yeah.
Pretty amazing there with what he was able to uncover. And again, it was a 99% certainty match by this AI program identifying him. But they didn't just stop there. They were also able to use geographic data to pinpoint where exactly this happened. But sadly, the victim in this case, the man seen in that photo moments before he was executed, is still lost to history.
Wow. What was the location again?
So this is right outside of Kyiv in Ukraine in 1941.
And was this researcher able to put additional context or details about this killer?
Yes.
Once he was identified?
We learned so much about this Jacobus Onen. He was actually a school teacher who was indoctrinated before the war, joined the Nazi Party, became radicalized, and then participated in these death squad groups. He was killed on the Eastern Front in 1943, so sadly he was not able to face justice for his crimes. Right. But that image is so haunting to see the other SS troops that are there with him participating in this.
Well, and I think to see the victim's face, if we can put that up one more time and take a look at that image, I think that you mentioned that there was somebody who said, we think that's my wife's family member. It's heartbreaking to kind of see what he may have been going through. Yeah. Not just having to live through that time, but in that very moment, he's feeling helpless.
Do you suppose can we get to your other clip?
Yes, absolutely.
Set this one up for us,
this one's timely because, like I mentioned, that yesterday was International Holocaust Remembrance Day, and what was fascinating by our discussion with Dr. Mateos was the fact that the way that these perpetrators of these crimes, there was an effort after World War II in Germany and Austria, where they were from, to kind of whitewash the crimes that they did. And in the case of Jacobus Onen in his hometown, there was a war memorial for the victims that literally said in German, "Our victims," on the placard of this memorial, and Jacobus Onen was added to it on the very bottom.
Oh,
wow.
But the upside on this one is that after Dr. Mateos published his research, and this became such a story in October, the mayor of that small town in Germany did right that wrong with putting over Onen's name, a QR code with context of who he was, and more importantly, that he was not a victim, but a perpetrator.
Here's that clip.
Yes, I mean, your series is called Unknown, and here we are facing one of the biggest unknown that might seem a little bit surprising almost 80 years after the events. Many of the perpetrators appear on these German memorials dedicated to either the war victims or sometimes the victims. In the case of Wena, the hometown of Onnen in East Frisia, it's our victims. So in this case, the mayor and some active citizens who were very much involved in recapitulating the history of the lost Jewish community in town were very quick to respond to the publication about the findings that show that Onnen is the shooter here.
All right. So, Trenton, when can we watch the full episode?
So, go to Fox Local app. We'll have that streaming this evening. And then tomorrow on YouTube, we'll have it up as well. So, full interview, 30 minutes with Dr. Mateos, and really fascinating.
All right, Trenton, thank you so much, buddy.
Appreciate it, guys.
And by the way, happy birthday to your 4-year-old daughter today. Happy birthday,
She's
sweetness.
enjoying it. Let me know. Yeah.
We'll be right back. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a major announcement for you. We are about to do one of the favorite segments of our regulars here online, Ask AI. Celeste, we're going to do an Ask AI in just a moment. But first, the setup for the story. And by the way, Trenton sticks around with us. Mm-hmm. Super cool. We love having you.
We love having Trenton, yeah.
So if you see the phrase a peanut butter raise and you're wondering what it is, it's getting all kinds of chatter online over the last few days. Mm-hmm. Apparently, the trend this year is going to be for everybody to get the same raise.
Yeah, so the idea with the peanut butter, Ron, as you mentioned, just spread it around. Like you're spreading peanut butter on the bread.
Evenly,
yeah.
You don't want a big bump of it right here.
Right.
Even if you're crunchy.
No, yeah.
Right, you're probably more of a creamy, smooth.
I actually do not discriminate. I love them both.
You're like, just give me whatever it is.
Just bring it on, baby.
Okay. So anyway, according to PayScale's latest pay trend, almost 50% of companies are going to go the peanut butter route. Everybody gets the same raise no matter what. Mm-hmm. And the rest of them are saying, no, it's going to be performance-based. If you can prove that you were more valuable to the company, we might give you. And by the way, the average this year is going to be about 3.5%.
And that would be the average for all the companies who are giving the peanut butter raises, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's just see.
Okay, let's talk about the benefits and the drawbacks, Ron.
Okay.
Yeah? Benefits, fair and simple, right? Everybody gets the same. They spread it around.
Sure, spoken like a mom.
You know, predictability. Y'all get 4 chicken tenders each, and that's it.
Yeah.
But here are the drawbacks.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Top performers may feel a little undervalued. Mm-hmm. You know, high performers.
I look at how you looked at Trenton immediately to take his temperature.
He's a high performer.
He's a well-known top performer. Are you already getting aggravated, Trenton, or what?
Yeah, I think this worked out terribly during the Cold War, so I repeat it.
Trenton's like, why did I stick around for this talker again?
Trenton's like, if I'd only stayed in the newspaper biz.
Right.
Oh, then he would be somewhere else, actually.
Broke would be the answer.
You may feel a little, potentially, it could hurt retention. That's a drawback. Mm-hmm. Motivation impact without performance differentiation. Okay. Employees may feel less driven. Many companies mitigate this by using bonuses, promotions, or non-pay incentives. Like maybe if you get like an extra week of vacation. It's not money technically, but it's, another incentive.
It is your money.
It is your money. But
we'll tell you it's not.
That is true. That is true.
About 55% of it is your money. The other just disappears. I have no idea.
Where does it go?
Yeah, true.
But 44% of companies are planning flat, equal raises across employees instead of merit-based ones.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hold on one second here. Let me go to graphics. I'm just looking for the graphics now, Brian, that says, let's ask AI. Can you? Okay. Oh, look, you guys, it punched up as graphics 1. Oh. Okay, here we go.
All right.
Okay, so are you ready? On 3. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Let's Ask AI. And this time around, Trenton, you can be the moderator here. Okay. And Celeste and I, we both go to chat. I'm just going to warn you right now that somehow Celeste found a agent. That's what they're called, Celeste. They're agents. Mm-hmm. Who's very flirty with her. But here's the question we're going to ask. In fact,
nice.
I'm just going to ask it right out. And then, Celeste, you can ask as well.
All right, you go first, buddy.
Hello, are you there?
Hey, yep, I'm right.
Oh, hold on.
Wait, let's lift her voice.
Put it on speaker.
She's ready for you, Ron. Yeah, hey, I'm right here.
Okay, she is ready to go. All right, so. Here we go, right here. Oh, wait. Okay. So, how much of a raise should I ask for this year? I saw a story that says everybody's going to get about a 3% raise across America, but I feel like I've been a real contributor to the success of Fox 10 this year. Maybe not to the level of Big D. That's Dave, our executive producer. Dave, what are you laughing about there? Come on, pal. But still, how much of a raise should I ask for this year?
Well, friend, you've been knocked hard on air and behind the scenes. Aiming above that standard 3% isn't outlandish at all. If you've got concrete examples of how you've added value, more viewers, killer segments, team leadership, maybe shoot for something like 5 to 6%. It's all about framing what you've brought to the table. And hey, Big D might even back you up.
Oh, here we go.
She sounds confident.
Could you hear that part of it, Dave?
Dave, she said said ask for 5 or 6%, and Big D may back you up.
She said double the normal rate and ask for it, and Big D could back you up.
Yeah, if it were up to me, it'd be 100% pay raises for all three of you.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Was that Fox GPT there?
Fox GPT.
Good? Yeah.
Oh.
Towing the company line.
All right, let's find out what they say for Syleste.
Okay.
Ready, Syleste? Here you go.
Hi, are you there? Hold on. Oh.
Here we go.
Hi, are you there? Oh, he's ignoring me now.
Uh-oh.
See, mine was
Trouble in
acting a little bit
Paradise.
weird, too.
Oh, wait, here we go.
Okay.
Are you there? Hi. Ron, I don't know what's happening.
I know.
I believe we call this ghosting.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I'm opening up my chat.
Okay.
Okay, and then, here it is. Hold on. Hi, are you there?
All right, here, let's do this. Celeste.
Oh no, it's typing everything in.
Okay, so what about my coworker?
You're on a typing relationship now.
Her name is Syleste Rodriguez, and she's been, she was raised in Tempe, 5th generation. I mean, that alone should be worth 1% to 2% right there. But she feels like she probably is the busiest person in the whole newsroom, right?
Well, I mean,
she launched another streaming show this year.
Yeah, you're saying this, Ron, not me. Why don't you talk me up?
Plus, sometimes I see her working late at her desk.
Okay.
And she's a real team player, and she probably is the best dancer to the Fox 10 music. Brian, bring up the Fox 10 music for a second, could you? I mean, if you haven't seen Syleste dance to the Fox 10 music, I'm telling you, it's worth, I feel, another 1% to 2%. So my question is, adding it all up, how much of a raise should Syleste ask for?
I mean, if we're factoring in roots, streaming prowess, and those iconic dance moves, Syleste could definitely aim higher than the standard. If she's truly carrying that newsroom energy, she might confidently ask for 5% or so, maybe even 6% if she can show her impact. And if that Fox 10 music dance goes viral, well, who knows? Sky's the limit.
Ooh, the viral dance. I do love that.
So we can both ask for 5 or 6, and Trenton's right there with us.
Right.
Yeah, but she just said 5 to 6% in the beginning, and now we're back to 5.
I know.
What is happening?
Correct. And now you've got the pressure that your dancing has to go viral.
Right.
Well, it's like, and that's really heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Like, do I have to come up with new moves all the time?
Well, I will say one thing in your favor. She didn't say you might have to rely on Dave to go to bat for you. Notice that, Dave? She's like, Celeste, you got this. You won't even need to walk into the big corner office with Dave.
Oh, I don't think I could do that. I think we all need Dave in tow. That's just kind of how this whole thing works.
All right. Well, anyway, if the boss tells you you're getting a peanut butter raise now this year, now you know exactly what's going on.
Ask him where the jelly's at.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's talk to you guys about this whole TikTok story.
Yes.
Big court case going on. Oh, hang on. I am hitting VO8 for TikTok settles, and I'm getting the state capital. Okay. Yeah, VO8. There we go. Okay. So TikTok settled a social media addiction lawsuit. The case involves a 19-year-old from California who said she got addicted to the social media platforms. And, of course, TikTok was a big part of it. And she said she even got depressed. So do you guys have any kind of a take on this one? My take is walk away from it.
She's a 19-year-old grown woman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? If there's a portion of your phone where you can go back and it can say, look, you spent like 6 hours on this one app.
Yes.
Even though people say TikTok is super addictive.
So I will say, as a mother of 3 teens.
All right, here we go.
Your child depends on, for whatever reason, that device to communicate with friends.
Good.
Snapchat is where it's at.
Oh.
In terms of communicating with friends.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have they don't text unless it's like a close friend. Mm-hmm. They don't FaceTime unless it's like maybe kids at school. You can call, you can text, you can do everything on Snapchat. That's where it's at right now still.
Right.
And so and then that also has become a news feed of sorts.
Yeah.
Like you can scroll through it because I'm on it because that's where my kids are and I want to talk to them.
Yeah.
So the thing is that you've heard all these documentaries that are out there where the CEOs and the bigwigs at these tech companies, they actually say, I don't allow my kids on social media.
Wow.
And so if they're saying it because they know the fact that it's addictive, then I think we all need to take notice.
I would like to see where Judge Judy would come down on this. She's a big believer in personal responsibility.
Absolutely.
You are responsible for your own actions.
You are responsible. The problem is the prefrontal cortex is not fully developed until a child is 25.
Right.
So as parents, we got to put the kibosh on the phone osh. We have to make sure that they're off of it when it, or don't let them in the bedroom with it. You know, they can't use it as an alarm clock. Buy them an old-fashioned alarm clock.
Trenton, what's your take on all this?
Oh, well, personal responsibility, I think, leads the way.
Yeah.
19's too old. If I eat too many Big Macs, which maybe in my case, I'm not going to take my lawsuit to Ronald McDonald.
That's very true.
You know
caught
what?
me up.
I did notice I was up a pound. I weigh myself every morning.
Okay.
I was up a pound this morning, and I know it was after football practice. I took my grandson Mason over to the convenience store, and I did happen to buy a big bag of potato chips.
Well, I don't.
So I'm not going to sue the potato company.
I actually don't buy it, Ron.
For that pound.
I don't buy it. I think it's water weight. Just head into the sauna, and you're going to sweat it all out, buddy.
Right. All right.
Yes, get those toxins out of your system, Ron.
Before we say our goodbyes, I'm looking for the cheese freeze, but I'll take this video. Every video is on a different button today. Anyway, this is Rhode Island, and look at this, would you? Now, this is, I'm sure this was not approved by local authorities, but hey, man, if your local street turns into a ski hill or like a cross-country run, again, personal responsibility.
Yes.
If the guy falls and twists his ankle,
it's his fault.
It's your fault.
But, you know, are they wearing they're wearing helmets at least.
Uh-huh.
You know, at least that's a part of, you know, taking, but don't hit a curb or like a rock or something. You know what I mean? That could get real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was Ron Hoon known to do this in University of Washington campus?
I don't think there was a single time I was up there where we ever got a snow like that. We had a lot of rainy. We had a lot of rainy days that wouldn't have worked. Here's the cheese freeze, by the way. I'm going to go VO10. This is what happens when your heater isn't working in the house or at a restaurant.
Oh,
look at this.
My gosh.
Is that so amazing?
How long did she have to hold it there in order for it to freeze like that?
I bet. Wow. You know, probably a few seconds, maybe less than a minute anyway. Freeze the cheese.
Thank you all for joining us, by the way, this first hour of Fox 10 Talks. Trenton, thank you, my friend.
Thank you, guys.
All right, welcome on in. We're going to keep things rolling here at Fox 10 Talks now at 11.
11 o'clock. How's it going? Wednesday?
Doing good. How about you? How's your Wednesday? Busy.
It's Wednesday. It's busy,
There
but
you
busy
go.
is good, right?
Yeah.
But I think one of our friends is here, Eric, with one of the local PR companies, and he said busy is the best way to be, best problem to have, something
very
like
true.
that. We want to introduce you to our first guest, getting ready, rolling, Heather Lennon.
Hello.
Hi,
good morning.
We were just chatting, and your job, what you have created, is so cool. So why don't you just kind of give us a brief rundown of what you do, Heather?
Sure. I am a niche general contractor and real estate developer. What I specifically do is adaptive reuse of old and historic buildings, mostly into retail.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that I'm trying to save the history of Phoenix one old building at a time. And I get to create things that create jobs.
That's
That's so cool. Because I feel like in today's day and age, we are so used to just kind of, it's old, bulldoze it and put something new in.
Sure.
And I feel like you lose so much character, so much heart.
Absolutely so.
And
like,
history.
And history. Like if you go to Europe, they've got buildings that are older than our country.
Sure.
Correct.
And then you come here and everything's brand new infrastructure. And you kind of lose, I don't know the right word, the charm, maybe?
That's a great way.
So how did you kind of get interested in wanting to, I guess, preserve / reinvent some of these buildings?
I started off, I went to the U of A and I got a degree that focused on retail store design, consumer behavior. And I started off with a design firm, mostly doing retail store design. And then it evolved. People asked me to do more and more. So I got my residential commercial GC's license and spent like 20 years with my head down running construction crews. And then lifted my head up and said, I really want to start doing this for myself on my own. And just when you have your fingers in old buildings, it becomes something that draws you. And,
What is too old? I mean, how do you, when you are looking for properties, how do you assess? How do you know what can be saved? We've both done a couple of houses. Like, I mean, not flipping for work, but for ourselves. And I love that because I love taking something old and making it new again and loving it again. But how do you know if the integrity is there? How do you know if it's a feasible project?
Sure. I mean, I think that... First of all, what we always think about is, I really believe that our history is embedded in our buildings.
Sure.
So, there's so much to be said. You can hear it if you just know how to listen.
Yeah.
And I also say about old buildings, she reveals herself slowly.
Mm-hmm.
So there's lots of unknowns. And after 28 years now, there's so much been there, done that, that it's more about, is the building something that has a story to tell as opposed to, is it feasible to save or not?
Mm-hmm.
So for us, there's always that opportunity.
You mentioned something about the unknown, and I was going to ask you this, and Anita kind of mentioned a little bit, but when you're kind of opening up those walls, I'm sure you run into a lot of issues,
much.
right? The plumbing, the foundation. Like, what are some of the hurdles that you come up against, I guess, on a daily basis when you're dealing with these old buildings?
I think that with every project you learn, and that's part of what's very enticing to me. We've had situations where we've had, we saved the Merriman's Funeral Home. That was just south of Roosevelt on First, and it's Matt's Big's Breakfast, new location now. It's
Talk about some stories. Boy, will
if those walls could talk.
Yes, exactly so.
Wow.
We had to go through a really, really thick slab to get some plumbing underneath, and when we cored through it, there was a massive, massive hollow underneath it. So it had been like eaten away by faulty plumbing for years. You could stand in it. So we had to go about slurrying it and do what was appropriate, but we were sure that that's where the dead bodies were.
Yeah, I was going to say.
We were just sure that's where they put them.
I was going to say, was it haunted?
Right.
Oh, my
But no,
goodness.
it's so great to see things that other people don't see value in and finding ways to bring them back into service. I'm a firm believer that you don't save a building by owning it. You save it by putting it back into service to the community in a way in which meets a need.
Yeah.
Do you just cringe when you are seeing some of these old buildings torn down and they're putting in those new modern high-rises?
Sure.
Or is there a place for everything?
I mean, as a preservationist, I'm probably not the right person to ask that question of.
Well, you know what I mean, though.
But sure, there's always give and take. But we are such a young country. And if we don't save these buildings now, I really believe, if not us, then who? Right? They're going to be gone, and we're not going to have that history and that culture. And Phoenix is full of history and culture. So it's really vitally important that we save those things. I own an event venue called Warehouse 215, and that was a building built in 1918.
Wow.
It was a linen and laundry business.
Cool.
It's now a really amazing event venue. I have another building that was built in the 50s, and we now have a kosher catering kitchen in it, and we have a caterer that's our tenant. And so just finding ways to put things back into use to be of service is, it's forever the challenge, but it's always a draw for me.
I was going to ask you too, and I think it probably is cost why so many of these older buildings get raised is because,
of course,
to reimagine it. And then, as you mentioned, you might run into some issues when you're dealing with an older building.
Yes.
So it's probably cheaper to raise it start brand new than it is to repurpose it in some circumstances.
Or the land might be worth more than the building itself.
But I think that we can't just value things based on the cost, right? There has to be something that's valuable beyond that. The fact that we're telling the story. And that's why a lot of what I do, my newest project, we're calling Imagine Coronado, and it's in the historic Coronado neighborhood that we love. It's a beautiful, thriving neighborhood, and here we are. We purchased 50,000 square foot piece of property, and there's 11 buildings on it.
Wow.
7 of them are historic. You're about to go into one. They're so great. The original built-ins, the original floors.
I would not be able to to tear that down.
It's really.
I would not be able to do that.
And I wish you were everyone.
Yeah.
This is a basement that we found.
You never find basements
isn't
in
that cool?
properties here.
I own a cigar business as well, and that's
what I was asking with the Cohiba. I was like, okay.
Cool.
Yes.
I grew up in Illinois.
Oh,
and
so
then
certainly.
Lived in Springfield, Illinois for a while. So a lot of these homes. So our first home, my husband and I, he did the same thing.
Yep.
He bought an old little bungalow, restored the floors, was able to dig out and clean up the basement. It's a lot of work.
Sure,
it's
certainly.
a lot of work.
Certainly.
When you are purchasing properties like this, and then you're reimagining them, when you walk in, how do you know this is going to be a catering business? This is going to be a cigar shop. I mean, how is that, or do you just kind of start restoration and then it comes to you? Or they're all different?
They certainly are all different. And I've been exercising this muscle for a very long time.
You're doing now.
You have a vision
yes,
right away.
And I accept the role of visionary. But in addition to that, the math has to math.
Yeah.
So we have to make sure we can make businesses that are functional, that can actually create jobs. In Imagine Coronado, we have this ethos. We're going to be creating a wellness enclave. So we have 7 homes. Each one's going to represent a different chakra. And we're going to do all different kinds of amazing things to sustain and create healing. It's going to be open to the community. We're saving all 7 homes. We're going to have 26 bedrooms.
Oh my gosh.
So they'll be available to spend the evening, enjoy the amenities, but it's going to be open to the community to come and enjoy. So, gosh, there's so many different ways to create. And it's just a matter of, I think of it as like, here's development. You have all of these puzzle pieces that you have to then figure out how they go together. And that's like the building and the land and, the entitlements and the zoning. And then once you're done with that, you realize you've been doing it on the back of the puzzle and there's no picture. Yeah. So you have to turn it over. And that final picture is that appropriate adaptive reuse to best revenue generate for every square foot. And it's not about the money, but you have to be able to create something that's viable. Yeah. These homes could not be saved and turned back into single-family residences. It's far too costly. We've already, all 7 homes were mired with mold. So we had to do mold remediation. We have to do all new electrical, plumbing, all new HVAC systems, all new structural. They're ruined, right? It's people don't understand when you leave an empty building empty. I think of it as getting lost to the sands of time. You
There's
really
no
have
love.
to.
You have to love it.
Yeah, and even if you do love it, you have to make sure that you do right by it. You shouldn't have systemic leaks. It needs to be guarded so that people can't come in and rip things off. And so, we really, really, we have such passion for what we do. And we know that adaptive reuse is a catalyst for change. And it's an invitation for others to join you.
I was going to ask you, too. I mean, obviously, the Coronado is one of those districts, and a lot of those homeowners have probably been in those houses for years and maybe even passed down generation to generation.
Sure.
Have you heard from some of these neighbors about what you're doing? Because they must be thrilled to know that this big block that they've probably walked by a million times is not going to be bulldozed, but it's going to be repurposed and reimagined.
Sure. And we've been to a homeowner meeting, and we absolutely engage with those around us. We don't want to build this for Coronado. We want to build this with Coronado.
Oh, nice.
So we're not coming with renderings.
Sure.
We're coming with our overall concept and asking them what their needs are.
Oh, cool.
So we're going to be having a meet and greet next month.
Oh, fun.
To invite the neighbors to come and chat and enjoy and ask questions and get feedback from them.
Is it going to be on the property so folks
Yes,
can kind of take a look
absolutely.
around too?
Yes.
Do you have people reaching out to you saying, hey, we have this property or we saw this property? This might be, because I know you're looking, you're constantly looking. And
that's how we found Imagine Coronado. So we were brought in by a realtor and the property was under contract with multifamily. And they were required by the PUD, the zoning, to save the 7 homes. So my company was brought in as an expert to give pricing as to what will it cost to actually save these. And then that deal fell apart, but our interest in the homes did not. So, we're really thrilled to have ownership now and be able to evolve them into something really cool. And like right now, we're in this limbo stage where we've cleaned and cleared and stabilized, and the homes are now all sealed. We have no more mold. But we don't have permits yet. So we're in that process. So I offer it up to any of our first responders for trainings. So we have SWAT coming. We have the NET team from Phoenix PD come. We have drone team, and we have K9, and we have the bomb squad.
Wow.
So
doing training right on the property.
Absolutely. It's it's a neighborhood.
Yeah.
So any first responders that hear this, that need a place to come and train, we're open. We're happy to have them come. We're happy to be of service in that way. So just a kind of cool thing we get to do in the meanwhile.
You mentioned that the homes have been cleaned and cleared.
Sure.
Of all the properties, we've got about a minute left. All the properties that you have gone in and saved, what is maybe one of the craziest things you've ever found?
Oh, gosh. That's like 20 years of...
Right?
20 years of
we're putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, because sometimes people leave stuff behind.
Certainly. I mean, we've found murals behind walls. We just really, really amazing things that you see. That sinkhole was really amazing.
Yeah.
Warehouse 215, when we took drywall off, we found beautiful old brick and doors that were no longer used. And there's the pads on the floor that used to weigh the laundry.
Oh, that's crazy.
Really, really, really cool.
Awesome.
All right, we've got about 30 seconds left, but how can folks kind of, I guess, follow your process? And when do you have a completion date?
We're looking at about 2 years from shovel to dirt.
Okay.
So we're looking forward to getting those permits.
Well, we're going to have you back.
Started.
Yeah,
yes.
thank you.
This has been such an interesting conversation.
ImagineDevelops.com is our website. You can reach out to us. And we're looking certainly for like-minded people. Our ethos is
thank you.
Enjoy and rise together.
Welcome back in, everyone. A couple of weeks ago, we had a fun guest on, a real-life treasure hunter.
CV Pratt was here in studio, if you remember this. And guess what?
Getting ready for an adventure.
He was on his way to go do some adventure hunting in Montana. So we're like, all right, you left us on a cliffhanger here. We got to know what you found. So guess who's joining us via Zoom this morning? We've got Mr. Pratt.
Hello.
Good morning.
How you guys doing? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, how'd it go?
Wow, it was amazing, guys. Listen, Montana was amazing. I haven't been there in many years, but wow, it was stunning, beautiful there. Big sky, beautiful weather, even though we went during the winter. And it was really neat. And we really got to see up close some clues that you just can't see from satellite. So, that's why these site surveys are so important for initial, treasure hunting and getting all your clues together. And so we came across some of the big markers that we knew we'd find, but their positioning was different than what we had thought. So it was really good to get that intel.
All right, so let's start at the very beginning. For folks that may have not catched your original episode when you were hanging out with us here in studio, tell us what you do, how you got started doing this, because I think it is just absolutely fascinating. You're like a real-life Indiana Jones, a treasure hunter out there.
Well, I'll tell you, with all of my experience, 35 years in the military, and then wanting to do treasure hunting, and I've done treasure hunting in the past, but really got serious about it in the last 10 years. And then while I was in Saudi Arabia, as a senior military advisor there, I took the time to kind of put, my methodology to test on a lot of stories that were out there. And I followed W.C. Jameson. He's a good mentor, and I really like his work. And so I just kind of took some of his stories and other historian stories and kind of just triangulate these accounts and come up with, some potential sites that could be visited as potential target zones. So, it's been a few years in the making, and these books kind of came here at the last as my research piled up on me. So, but now I'm out in the hunt now. I'm no longer in Saudi Arabia. I'm actually in the hunt. So it's been great.
Yeah, so take us back then to Montana and what you were looking for. There's an actual treasure out in that area that you were looking for, and what the clues were, what you found, and where you're going to go from now.
Yeah, so, this was a site survey. Usually if you're going to go on a hunt, you're going to spend a week to maybe 3 weeks. So we just wanted to kind of see if our, initial assessments were on par with the markers that we had found in Justin Poem's hidden treasure. Justin Poem hid this treasure, I want to say, in January 2022 or 23, and he went on Netflix and described it. It's very much like the Forrest Finn treasure. And so it's chapter 5 in my first volume of If I Were You, Treasure Hunter's Guide to America's Lost and Hidden Treasure. So chapter 5 of that is about this specific treasure hunt. It's one of 58 chapters that I have, 58 different treasure hunts. But this one, I was looking for the location of, not just the location, but the directional heading of the Sacagawea statue. I thought it was exactly facing northwest. It turns out that it was actually facing 225 degrees, nearly southwest. And so that's why you go to these sites to do site survey, kind of align your facts with what is on the ground, and then go from there. So I had some pretty good hypothesis. I was able to mark a couple of these spots off of the list and focus on other spots.
Now, I got to ask you, though, because do you kind of get your, I guess, hopes up, so to speak, when you are out there and you're really hoping that you're going to find this treasure that you have been searching for, and then maybe something's off or it doesn't come to fruition? Do you kind of get your hopes up, or do you kind of keep those expectations, I guess, tamped down a little bit until you actually find it?
You just got to look at this really methodically, right? I believe in every one of my chapters there is a gettable treasure, but it's not just going to jump into your lap, right? I think I've done the 90%, with my methodology, putting all my analysis and, the latest in technology to come down to these search zones. But, bottom line, you got to get boots on the ground. And I got to tell you, I'm really not disappointed, because I'll tell you what, to be in Montana and to be in that area was just stunning. Absolutely stunning, beautiful. And the weather was wonderful. And my wife and I had an absolute wonderful time on this search. Like I said, part of the intangible journey, part of the intangible treasure is the journey itself, right? So getting out there, getting off the couch, getting into the mountains, hiking around, seeing what's out there, and then hopefully line up some clues into a target zone that can possibly yield some treasure.
I think what's super interesting is you mentioned that the treasure you're looking for was buried in 2022, I think you said. I think when a lot of people think of a buried treasure, they're thinking way back when, maybe some explorer from the 1800s or something buried a treasure. But this is still a very active something that people do.
Yeah, well, listen, Justin Posey's kind of, that's a one-off here. He purposely hid this treasure and wants you to find it and gave you clues. Most treasure that you look for has been lost to history, and you really have to decipher the times, the environment, and the characters of the story, and where they possibly hid their loot. Like I said before, are they on the is a posse on their trail? Are they in a hurry? Was there murder and mayhem? And so there's a lot of stress on the line. So yeah, some of these treasures go back to early 1700s. So it's very rare you'll get kind of a recent treasure hunt by someone kind of having doing something like a treasure hunt like Justin did. And really the rest are history, like doing your research on history, do your analysis, environmental scanning, and then the journey is part of it. You can't do it from a couch. You have to go out there and find it.
Mr. Pratt, we're getting a lot of questions in the chat, so I'm going to read some of these here. The first one was from Brandy the Bookworm. Have you ever been to any dried out river or lake beds? And what's the most valuable thing or the most interesting / weird thing that maybe you have ever found in your expeditions?
Wow. It's, I got to say, many years ago, I was into animation art. And I found a very, very rare Snow White animation cell that is probably, if you look at it today, it's exponentially worth value. Wow. And so, I found that in a barn in Tulare, California. So, wow. There's things you can hunt for and find. Other things you got to really scan for. I haven't done too many riverbeds, although a lot of my research points to riverside and riverbeds. A lot of folks that needed to hide money because they were on the run, had to quickly put it in the ground thinking they'd be back 2 weeks later. And then they end up getting killed in another robbery. So now, we know it was near a river because that's what he told a buddy or whatever. But listen, over 150 years, that river has changed. Yeah. And so it's all this research that you have to do before. And I just got to tell you, my last book, before I came on, my book was coming out, my last one called Decoding America's Lost and Hidden Treasures. And it's my methodology for how I come up with my solutions to these 58 stories. So I wanted to let you guys know that's out there now.
Darren Lloyd, 244, is asking if you ever use drones. I mean, new technology now, will that help you find more treasure?
Oh, I think so. Not on every treasure, but on certain treasures. Like we're going to be going to the Guadalupe Mountains here soon. I have about 3 or 4 chapters between my 3 books that talk about the Guadalupe Mountains. Now that is open area. It's very rocky, not a whole lot of trees, high desert. It's in the west end of Texas. It's dry, and that would be great for drone research because at least you could, kind of map an area and keep track of an area and maybe even find some disturbed ground that you wouldn't necessarily be able to unless you had eyes up 100 feet or 50 feet. So drone is the way to go. It's the way of the future. I think a lot of folks will find those to be very helpful.
Very cool.
Maybe a silly question, but
there's no silly questions on Fox 10 Talks.
Would you ever consider hiding a treasure yourself?
Oh, that's a good idea.
And then maybe creating the clues like the ones that you are following. You have so much knowledge.
Yeah, maybe if a movie studio called me and said, hey, we're going to do a movie, how would you hide a treasure? If they haven't hired W.C. Jameson already, because he's done a couple of those. But listen, no, I wouldn't. I learned from Forrest Fenn, him and his family ended up getting a lot of grief, and a lot of people were upset when the treasure was actually finally found. Mm-hmm. But there was a lot of upset people. Justin did it differently. I'll tell you, when you find this one, there's so many instructions involved, and for the legal part of it, and it won't be scary, and so there's a lot of things that Forrest Fenn detail wise didn't put in as safeguards, and there was a lot of people upset, but I think Justin did differently. Would I do it? No, I'd rather find treasure than hide treasure. So
we've got about 2 minutes left, but I was going to ask you, how do you, because you're obviously kind of out there in the elements for hours upon hours, kind of looking and searching and kind of, going through these different clues. How do you make sure you're keeping yourself safe when you're out in the wilderness sometimes?
Hey, safety is very key. Listen, Justin hit his treasure, and he kind of had some safety rules there. He put some things. Hey, it's not underwater. It's not on a cliff. Like he doesn't want people to get hurt.
Yeah.
But if you're out there looking for treasure that's been hidden, that no one wants you to find, and it was 150 years ago, you got to be safe. You're a lot of times out in the wilderness where there's no hospitals, no help.
Sure.
So it's all about preparation. Make sure that you have water, food. Make sure that you have snake type of anti-venom.
I forgot about that.
Boots that can withstand that kind of ruggedness. Bear spray. So be prepared. If you're not prepared to go out in the wilderness, do not go out there. It's very dangerous. So it's all about preparation, and that's how we approach it.
CV, less than 30 seconds. How many books now total? How do people get a hold of them?
4 books. They're all available on Amazon. If you just type up my name, CV Pratt, you can get on Amazon. Or you can go to my website, which is cvpratt.com, and there'll be links to different versions of the book that you can get to. But I have 4 books out right now, volumes 1 through 3, that have the 58 different chapters. And then my final book, which is my methodology, it's called Decoding America's Lost and Hidden Treasure, a 90% rule, a methodology for planning, preparation, and recovery of stolen treasure.
Mr. Pratt, it's good to see you.
Hey, great to be back, guys. Look forward to seeing you again.
Thanks so much, CV. That was awesome.
Hey, awesome, man.
Well, here we are at 11:30. It's the Ron and Des show. We should just call it that. From now on, no more FTT. It's too confusing. It's the Ron and Des show.
Oh, you would throw some people in a tizzy, Ron. I like the sound of that.
Well, it's all about branding. That's for sure. And actually, we got that little logo right there in the corner. Mm-hmm. And this is kind of our standard downtown shot, which, believe it or not, is on that tall building. If you've ever been to a D-backs game and you're kind of walking into the plaza area, it would be over to the right. It's the one that's got a Bosa Donuts on the ground floor.
Oh, remember when we covered our World Series?
I will never forget when you and I were doing the World Series stuff, and every morning we just waited for that Bosa to open up so we could go buy some donuts.
Ron, seriously, highlight of my career.
Okay.
That's going to go down.
All right.
In the top of the list.
I love it. Hey, but Dino also has a camera, you guys, from Flint, Michigan. Normally, I'm punching up the mystery cam. Oh, it's on page 2. Okay, there you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our starting shot. It's not the mystery cam. It's just our starting shot from Flint, Michigan. And here's my one quick story about that, Des. Mm-hmm. So we're on a family vacay. We're driving across Michigan. I see a sign that says, let's exit and go to Flint. So I said to the fam, I'm like, it always comes in close to dead last on the most livable cities in America. Ooh. I'm like, let's pull into Flint and see what's so bad about it. And I have to say, I think there's this one main street, and I'm sure by now they've addressed a lot of stuff. This was probably 20 years ago or more. And I just remember I was low on gas, so we finally found a gas station, and the guy had to unlock from the inside the gas station for us to just walk in and see if they had any candy bars for sale.
Ron went to the hood.
I don't know what was going on. I just know that it was difficult to get in. And
interesting.
Flint
Well, that's a nice shot. I mean, it looks like a cute little strip on the main drag, maybe.
I do appreciate that era of architecture. I guess that's kind of Art Deco. And I think at one time it was a boom, boom, boom town, Flint, Michigan. But anyway, we digress. Troy last hour was saying, he gave me 3 loves in a row. He said, I love, love, love. I love me a good Ron story from somewhere. I try to have one for every town or city in America, you guys. Anyway, so Des, how's your morning been going?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, we were at Western Sky Helicopter.
Oh.
They're in Scottsdale. They do these amazing helicopter rides.
Okay.
You'll tour Sedona and the Red Rocks, and then it'll drop you off and land at DA Ranch. And you can do a 2-hour tour of the vineyard, drink wine, charcuterie boarded up.
Now, the pilot doesn't drink the wine, right? This is just the customers.
He better not.
Right?
No, he shouldn't be. And then you fly back.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, this state of ours, normally we have really good weather. I was just thinking this morning, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows how fast the state tourism office could respond? We should be running ads in every cold city in America for the next 3 weeks saying, hey, check out Mesa.
Ron,
check out Scottsdale.
No, we don't want anybody else to know.
Right? That's it. When I moved here, there were 1 million people. Today there's 5 million.
Yeah.
We got to cap it at 5?
Yeah.
Des, you don't want 8?
We're good.
Okay.
We're good.
All
Home
right.
prices are already
that's a good point.
They're at the ceiling.
They are. Hey, let's talk about what's been going on in Washington. Marco Rubio called to testify before the Senate, ostensibly about Venezuela, but of course there were a lot of questions about Denmark and Greenland and Cuba and Iran. I mean, there's so much going on around the world, but what did he have to say, particularly on topic number 1, Venezuela? Here you go.
But it's not just about oil. There's other economic activity, the full spectrum. I mean, Venezuela was, and still, we're not talking about some third world country here. I mean, we're talking about a country that doesn't just have wealth, it has memory, it has history of economic activity, of people who own chains of pharmacies. I know some of these people who own chains of retail stores, including American retailers who had a presence there. We just want it to be a normal prosperous country again, not a playground for Iran, Russia, and China in our own hemisphere. And we're going to try to help them get that because we think it serves our national interest. That will require actions on our part, not money, but ultimately that will require them. This is ultimately going to be on the Venezuelan people and Venezuelan society and Venezuelan leaders to make this happen. We're going to be there to help and assist and create the parameters for it, and we feel like we're making really good progress. If we make as much progress over the next 4 weeks as we've made in the last 3.5 weeks, I'll feel very good about that. If it slows down or it gets complicated, I'll certainly let you know. But our anticipation is that we're going to be able to continue to work cooperatively with them because it's in their interest and ours. But I will point out to this. After this operation happened, look at the people who criticized it. I mean, there were others. China, Russia, Iran, Hamas. These were the people that were upset about this strike and this raid and what we did. And I can tell you that in many countries in the Western Hemisphere, there was great pleasure in the fact that Maduro was removed and that it didn't involve an all-out war and an invasion.
I will just say, Des, I pointed this out last hour. He was not reading from a script or any notes or anything. I mean, to me, he seems like he's probably the most well-versed. Now, look, he's had, 20-plus years in Washington as a senator and in other positions. And frequently he's mentioned as a possible presidential candidate. I don't know if he's thinking about running in 2028, but it sure seems like he's up to speed on every potential issue that a Secretary of State would have to be dealing with.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it would be reasonable to say, even if he did have a notebook and, talking points, right? I mean, even generally we prepare for things with talking points or whatnot.
Yeah,
so, that does go to show that knowledge of the situation is right there, easy to grab because he is involved. And he did. He said, make no mistake, as the president stated, that they are prepared to use force to ensure maximum cooperation if other methods fail. But like you said, if things go as well as they have the past couple of weeks, keeping that hope for momentum for the next 4.
Let me see. Was there a headline that came out of the whole Greenland
Hi, Mike.
talk?
Our general manager, the guy who signs our checks, is right over there, you guys.
Good.
Hey, Mike.
It's a rare appearance. We love it when they happen. Anyway, he's been, he said, look, we're still in active talks with Denmark and NATO. And seeking to negotiate rather than escalate. And, we just have to wait to see what happens there. My understanding is the U.S., they're not saying we want to take over the whole country. They just want wherever we're going to build these bases, they just want the land underneath to be American soil. So, Great Britain does that right now in, I think it's Greece. I believe they have a military base. And that portion is on British soil. So anyway, we'll see what happens there. Des, are you concerned? Your kids, I'm sure, don't have e-bikes yet, but look, they're going to be asking for them here within a few years, or e-scooters. There are growing concerns about injuries.
Yeah.
And so we decided we were going to go out and do a story about this, where Chandler Regional said they've already seen 200 injuries, trauma injuries in the last year, just e-bikes and e-scooters.
Yeah, the numbers are startling. And what's even more shocking is the number of people that doctors say are actually wearing a helmet out of the injuries that we're seeing.
Okay. And by the way, about a third of people hurt did have head injuries.
Yeah.
So it goes to that. I think sometimes if you're whatever age you are, 10 or 12 or 13, and you're riding these and you're on your own block, in your neighborhood, you probably think, oh, I can't get hurt here. It's like right by my house kind of a thing. But it is happening. And here's what they were saying.
You put that on a roadway and you put that with certain judgment and decision making where there's vehicles as well, there's pedestrians. Frankly, it's scary. That's the worst news that we bring to families, is that your loved one's been seriously injured or has been killed.
Interestingly, most of the patients that we see as traumas here related to these types of vehicles are personally owned vehicles, personally owned scooters or e-bikes.
Yeah, so a lot of good information there from him. So that is interesting to know. These aren't the ones that you rent and see like in the downtown areas, or
the Lime
these are the ones
or whatever,
folks
the bigger
own.
ones,
So a lot of patients older too, like in their 20s and 30s. So not necessarily just kids. And out of the 200 injuries that they've have seen over the course of the last year, only 30 of those patients were wearing helmets.
Interesting.
That is
right? Yeah.
very slim.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had a question earlier in the chat from Linda. She asked how the helicopter ride was this morning.
What's your answer?
Linda, it's called the magic of television. I didn't actually leave the ground. Yeah. Then we were like, let's just pretend.
Yeah.
So I got in. He turned the blade on, and we didn't go anywhere. Yeah. But we were shaking on the ground. And why was I nervous? And I was like, we didn't even leave the ground.
Yeah.
I've never flown in a helicopter.
Yeah, no, we used to have a helicopter right up here on our roof. I used to fly in it all the time.
It would take a whole lot of courage for me to fly to get in the chopper.
Sure. Hey, let's talk about what's going on at the Capitol, because we're watching it. There is some legislation working its way through that they say would tighten up the current law, make it not ambiguous in any way. If a member of law enforcement believes that they have just arrested or detained somebody who's in the country illegally, they do then have to reach out to either ICE or Customs and Border Protection. That's what it would be all about. Senate Bill 1055 passed out of committee, so it's going to the full Senate for a vote, and our poll question looks like this. Should police have to notify? 84% of you saying, yeah, all law enforcement should cooperate 100% of the time. 14% say no, it could lead to racial profiling. And 2% say, look, it happens a lot already. We don't need another law. QR code. Des, how about YouTube?
Yeah, we're seeing over 2,500 votes here. 65% of folks saying, yes, all law enforcement should cooperate at all times. 27% no, it could easily lead to racial profiling. 7% say not if it takes up time trying so there you go.
All right. So what do you think, Dave? You're looking at comments.
Tim Harper in Gilbert says if all enforcement work together, then they could determine if the person is in the country illegally. If they are illegal, turn them over. If they are legal, then charge them for whatever crime they're arrested for. There's no racial profiling as this person was already arrested. And then on the other hand, Joseph Denny in Mesa says our local law enforcement is here to enforce local and state laws, not to look out for illegal immigration. We went through racial profiling with Sheriff Joe and don't need a repeat. We love hearing from you guys. Keep the comments coming.
Wow. Okay. Always interesting input, Des, for sure, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Ready? Here we go. Mystery camp. Whoa, man. This is going to be a tough one. Where do you think it is? We'll be right back. All right, everybody. We welcome you back to the newly named Ron and Des show. So far, Dave hasn't put the kibosh on it.
I never will. You guys can do whatever you want.
Give people what they want.
Yeah, it's a streaming
They didn't
show.
revolt in the chat, so.
It's a streaming show. We do what we want. Okay, so let's go take a look here. This is quite amazing. Now, here's the thing. So the national media was talking about it all crazy like on Sunday and Monday, and then they've just kind of moved on to other stories. And obviously there's a lot going on in the news right now, but it's still like frigidly cold in many parts of the country. And there are still a lot of people that don't have their power back on. It just seems incredible to me. We ran a VO, Des, last hour that showed this lady in a restaurant where the heat wasn't working, and she picked up a slice of pizza and let the cheese freeze, and the pizza slice was like 6 inches above the rest of the pizza, and it froze in place in just a matter of seconds.
What?
How about that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Where's the video of that?
Well, we had it last hour. Dave, can you pull that up again?
Just give me a minute.
All right,
Wow.
Big D
What?
makes the plays. But anyway, do you have a
Cool.
guess here? I'm seeing Minnesota. I'm seeing Michigan.
You know, I'm seeing a whole lot of Michigan.
All right.
But Jenna guessing Norton Shores, because that is very specific.
Oh, is that Norton
also
Shores, Michigan?
In Michigan.
Mhm.
Yep. Because of Jenna being, that specific,
Okay.
that lets me know that she's
Oh.
feeling confident.
Okay.
So I'm going to go Michigan with the rest of the folks today.
I am looking that up right now. Norton Shores, Michigan. Well, that's kind of interesting. It's out there. If you're ever in Grand Rapids, and then you take the 96, it takes you right out by the ocean, and that's where it is. By the way, they have an Olive Garden there. I wonder sometimes on Google Maps why it randomly shows me stuff. It's like, did I look up an Olive
'Cause
Garden
it's
a month
listening to
ago?
you.
And now it's saying there's an Olive Garden in that town.
You
if
probably
you're
mentioned breadsticks and,
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you're going Michigan. Just to switch it up, I'll go Minnesota. And here, ladies and gentlemen, is the answer.
All right. It is. Whoa! South Haven, Michigan.
Oh, okay. Let's go see
There
if
you
that's
go.
near Norton Shores, just to be sure about this. South Haven.
South Haven.
Okay, South Haven, Michigan.
So
Sure
almost
enough,
almost everybody.
it's about 20 miles
right.
south of there, maybe 30. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, yeah, that's what they're
Good
dealing
guesses.
with in Michigan.
But it's not just about oil. There's
Hold on there. You've had your chance, Mr. Secretary of State. We are going to continue on, Des. What in the world is going on with the Pro Football Hall of Fame? It's in Canton, Ohio. Finally made it there last year. 23. And it's amazing. If you're a football
you
fan
said it
like
was
we
worth
are,
going.
oh my gosh. I mean, you could literally, I gave myself like 2.5 hours. I could have spent the whole day there.
Oh, really?
In fact, that's one piece of advice. If you're going to go
And
there,
I forget how much you said
it was expensive. It was like $42 per person.
Yeah.
I didn't check because I didn't have my grandkids with me. I hope it's free for 12 and under or really low cost, because there's almost a disincentive for, if you got a family, if you got 4 kids, mom and dad, you don't want to be looking at $300 to go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
It's almost a big incentive.
I know, unincentive or disincentive, right?
Disincentive to have kids, period.
Oh, now hold on, Des. They're going to take care of you in your old age.
I hope
You know
so.
that.
Don't
Okay.
get no. I love my kids. I'm saying the cost of everything, right?
All right.
Let's
Here-
see. It's $45 for adults.
Okay.
Lower prices for children and seniors.
Yeah, they
Free
better be.
admission for children 5 and under.
Nah,
So-
that's not good enough. They need to make it 12 and under. I mean, those young kids that are out there playing flag football, just let them in.
Oh, it looks like it depends. Like $15 on select Tuesdays. Children 6 to 12. Anything 12 and older is an adult ticket, it looks like. So, yeah.
Hey,
5 and
NFL.
under are free.
You got plenty of money, NFL. Let's get a break for the kids. Bill Belichick, look at him as a young man there. That was several years ago, out in the snow. One of the many times they won the Super Bowl. So the story this morning is he's not going to make it on the first ballot as a Hall of Famer, even though no coach has ever gone to the Super Bowl or won as many Super Bowls as he did. Now, there are 50 people who vote, And the reports are that he fell short of the 40 that are required. I want every one of the people that did not vote him in to come out today and either give interviews or go on social media and say, here's why I don't think so. Because I've been racking my brain. Why would you not put Bill Belichick in the Hall of Fame? I'm racking my brain. Maybe he was abrasive. Maybe he cut you off in an interview. That was just the way he was. Did I like it that way? No, but I never had to interview him. But, you know, he's still got more Super Bowl rings than anybody else that's ever played the game or that's ever coached in the game. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. Just look at the numbers.
Right.
I mean, so aside from that, if you're taking it personal, well, I guess that changes the vote.
I guess so. Well, anyway, the only thing I can think is you could make an argument that he really won because of Tom Brady. Because let's take a look. When Brady finally said, I've had enough of this system and of the coach, I'm going to go somewhere else, they instantly fell off to a dramatic level. And but he does have a new girlfriend, so life is good for him. I don't know what these pictures are. They're going to pop up randomly. But hey, I don't know. I guess I've made my. The only thing I can think is he didn't make it because when Brady left, he wasn't a very good coach. Can you think of anything else?
I mean, that's silly. I don't know. Other than, what else do they take into consideration? If it's not just the numbers and the record. Like, seriously, what else do they look at?
Correct. Right.
You know, what? Are they just saying, oh, he hasn't been retired long enough, we're going to wait until he's, you know, been out a little longer to give it to him? Like, what is it?
I would like it if one person who voted against him steps forward to say why. All right, Des, we got it. Here's the cheese. Look, she's holding it. It's in the box.
Yeah.
Then she removes the...
Whoa.
She removes the utensil, and there you go.
So instantly, like it came out hot.
I would say, I don't know exactly. I think it was edited, but it looked to me like it only took like less than a minute.
Like a couple,
Sure.
Wow.
I mean, you can tell it's cold. She's sitting there in her parka inside the restaurant. How did they have enough
just thinking,
power?
dang, what a waste of a whole pizza.
How did they have enough power to cook the pizza, but it's freezing cold? I have too many questions.
Is it is it a brick oven?
Could be. A few moments later, she says. Right. But anyway, that is pretty cool.
Wow.
I do like that. Okay, so are we Team Seahawk or are we Team Patriot? Oh, I know you're Team Patriots all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like Mike Vrabel?
Only because Vrabel.
He was a super cool coach when your hubby was playing for him in Tennessee. Okay.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
What about this guy? Seattle's playing, obviously, in the Super Bowl. They opened this season with 60-1 odds, and BetMGM came out to say a customer made some big bets, including $50,000 on the team making the playoffs, which won him about double.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's
it was 60-1 to win the whole thing. But the odds, okay, are they going to make the playoffs? He doubled his money there. And then he put another 50 on them winning the NFC Championship.
Now this one's a good return.
Because that won him over $1 million. Wow, man.
That's great.
You got to be a high roller in Vegas to make something like that happen.
Well, and it's also predicted that he'll bet even more.
Right.
So what do you do? So you're up $1.4 million.
Right.
Are you taking half that and you're going to bet half and at least keep half? What are you doing?
That's probably a pretty... to me, it's mind-boggling.
I'm walking away.
I can't even see, even if I was in Vegas, putting more than 10 or 20 bucks down. I'm too much of a cheapskate, but anyway.
Yeah, I don't gamble. I just don't like losing money, but I guess...
Yeah.
That's why I don't win money.
There you go. Okay, so I'm going to go to VO6. I believe this is the other Super Bowl story. And, okay, so here we go. Have you guys heard about this? There's a new conspiracy theory going around. This is at the beginning of the season. 32 teams with February dreams. And then if you look off kind of in the distance, the closest guys to the stadium are the two quarterbacks who are going to play. So you had, in terms of the point of view, way back here are, Mahomes and Purdy and Burrow, and way up in the front.
Yeah, Barkley dead center right there.
Yep. That we are, we're the team that is going to be right there and ready to play. it's obviously the two quarterbacks, Sam Darnold and Drake May, 14 and 10. I don't buy into this conspiracy theory.
Because then if you're looking at the rest of the image, are all the quarterbacks falling in line, like accordingly to where our two Super Bowl QBs are placed? Like, I can't remember, like, were the Eagles out first? And then you got Bills QB Josh Allen is kind of way in the back.
Yeah.
So I would have put him right behind the other guys.
Really good
that
point.
was the case.
Really good point. I think that's what I would have. If the final three guys in the playoffs were Barkley, Purdy, and Burrow.
Oh,
then I would have
Mm-hmm.
gone into it. But okay, so look, we only have time for one more story, so we're going to talk about our favorite options for snowplow name of the year. Now, in the past, we've had the Blizzard of Oz, Sleetwood Mac, Plowosaurus Rex.
Those are good names.
Those are good. I do love that
Control
one.
Alt Delete is pretty creative, too.
I love Control Alt Delete. Scoop Dog, that's not bad.
No, that's a good one.
All right. So anyway, last year's winners were Control Alt Delete, The Blizzard of Oz, and then some of the other ones you saw there. Also, the one we didn't show you was Darth Blader. Do you have a fave?
That one's a good one.
Yeah.
Of those?
From last year.
I'm going Control Alt Delete.
I'm going to do that
I like
too.
that one.
I love that. I'm not sure who came up with it, but it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also liked ours from the morning show.
Oh yeah. What were you?
Mine was Fluellen's Frost Fighter.
Yeah. But the winner was Crystal's.
Crystal Clear Roads.
Crystal Clears Roads.
Crystal crushed us.
Okay,
they just voted for her because she's the weather person.
I know. People love Crystal so much.
I'm just joking.
Yeah.
Crystal. Yours was funny too, though.
Yeah. Instead of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, it was Honey, I Shrunk the Snowdrift. It didn't exactly roll off the tongue. I'll just say that, right?
Honey, I Shrunk the Drift.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, a little difficult
there you go.
for a snowplow name.
Hey, man, we want
it's a fun contest.
A few more snowy days before the heat comes back. That's for sure. I guess we got to already say our goodbyes, Des.
That's it. And it's my Friday. So you have a great rest of your week,
All
Ron.
right,
I'll
good.
miss you guys.
Yeah. I'll be here trudging through on Thursday and Friday.
We're celebrating Demi's first birthday.
Oh, my gosh. Have the
Friday,
greatest time.
Yeah.